folks, Skip here, and I want to thank you for dropping in on Skip-O-Matic's Model Mania. This time around I'm going to build this 34 Ford Roadster Pickup. It's a Lindberg 124 scale. I bought this kit. It was an open and started, which normally I don't buy an open kit unless it's sealed inside. I hardly never buy one that's already been started. But this one kind of caught my attention, and I thought it had some potential, and I figured I could work around whatever might be missing. This is it. It's a 1986 issue, so it's, I don't know, what, 35 years old. And I do have a newer 2006 issue of this model sealed. In fact, it's right here. I think that was probably the last issue of this kit. And this one's still sealed. But this one was open and started. It had, you can see, it's definitely been pilfered through. A lot of stuff, engine, it's not even glued together. It's just kind of pushed all together for now. I'm going to build this. I'm probably going to use other parts I have from in my spare part stash that I've had stored away. This kit's, I bought this at least 6 or 7 years ago. It's been hidden in my stash that whole time, almost forgotten about. There's what the engine, it's just pushed together. Here's the chrome tree. You can tell there's a lot of parts off of it already. This, I guess, could be built two ways. There's another frame in here. This is for like some kind of a little roadster dragster. And you can see there's just a whole bunch of parts in here. That's for the roof, which I'm probably not going to use that. I like roadster pickups. This roof doesn't seem to really sit nice without doing some massaging or fixing on it. It's kind of not quite right, so I might not even use it. But there's a lot of other extra parts in here. There's the tires and wheels they started painting. I'm not real impressed with the tires and wheels in this kit. Somebody added a bunch of extra parts in here also. It's a bunch of Red Baron parts. So this is part of the engine from the Red Baron. Get it up here so you can see it. I don't know if they had a kit that they broke apart and decided to had some custom idea they were going to do with a straight 6-cylinder. I don't know. Is that a 6-cylinder, 7-cylinder, 6-cylinder? There's the headers for it. The Red Baron. The grill. What else was in here? Well, I think this is the rear end out of the Red Baron. Kind of busted up, but some other stuff. The machine guns of the Red Baron are in here. There's tires and wheels from the Red Baron. There's the rear tires and wheels, slicks. And I think there was I think these are the front tires. I know I think it's missing one of the front wheels for the Red Baron. But anyway, it's got some different valve covers in here that I know don't go to this kit. Looks like a Holley Dominator carburetor. I know that doesn't belong to the kit. And there's one of the machine guns. So anyway, I probably won't use the Red Baron wheels. I think that's what they intended on doing. And so that's just kind of just a mess of parts in there. Now I have gone through them. I know there's the main parts I need for this body and everything. I don't even know what that's to. It looks like it's to this kit, but yeah, looking in the instructions, I don't see it anywhere. So that's it. There's an extra battery to something in here. So there's a bunch of parts in here. So they were going to do something with it, not sure what. But this really isn't the reason I bought it. I'll show you here. Put this off to the side. And I will show you this is really why I bought it. It already painted the body on it, and it's kind of an odd color, kind of a greenish gold, and that just, the paint job just kind of, it's not perfect, but it does look pretty nice. It's glossy. I don't know, it's an odd color. It's not, it just struck a note with me. When I saw it, that's one of the main reasons I bought this kit. I just thought I could do something with this. It gave me some ideas. But it's kind of a neat color. And I figured, you know what? This could probably be a pretty neat looking rig when you get it built. So I'm not going to paint the body. I'm leaving the body just like this. I'm going to do some detailing, do the seat, you know, do some of the other things to it. But I'm going to use this body pretty much just like it is painted. It's not even glued together. Everything's just kind of stuck in there. So that's how it's going to be. That's going to be the color of it. I don't like the tires and wheels that are in the box, so I broke out one of my little stashes of tires and wheels I have. And so I'm probably going to use something out of here. I'm kind of leaning towards maybe these pie crust slicks with wheels. And I think these are the front tires that match. So yeah, those are the fronts, I believe, that match that. We got some 2-point spinners on it. This set came from, if I recall, this set came from the Munsters coach. So they might work out pretty nice. And then I got these ones. I got a set of these. I think they're big and littles. They're at least skinnies and narrows. These are from, not this one. There's the fronts. Yeah, they are big and littles. Let's see here. I kind of like these wheels too. So I got those to pick from. So it's probably going to be one of those two sets I use. I know this set's from the Munsters coach. And this, I believe, is from a Monogram 124 scale 36 Ford. Yeah, that's what those are from. I remember the color that was molded in. So those are probably going to be one of my two choices for tires and wheels. And I'm going to use the engine that comes with this kit. It's not real detailed. But it's going to look good enough, I believe. And I got some other extra little parts and things in my spare parts stash I may use to dress this up a little bit. But that's where I'm at right now, so I'm going to move on to getting this built, and let's see how this thing shapes up, see where I go with it. So I want to show you what I'm doing to make the these tires and wheels from the AMT Dragula kit work with the Lindberg axles. And what I decided to do is, let's do the front ones first. I went on my Tinkercad account and made some quick little files for these little discs, and then I downloaded them into my computer, and then fired up my printer, 3D printer, and imported the files into my print program and printed these out. These are 16mm diameter discs. The front ones have a 3mm diameter hole in the middle, and the rear ones have a 5mm center hole. And of course I made the mistake of not adding a little extra, because that's the exact size of this nub on these rear wheels. So I had to take a drill bit and just kind of clean this hole out. Oops, hold out a little bit, just a smidgen, to fit over that. And the same thing on these axle pins for the front axle. So after I did that, took a drill bit, cleaned the hole out, just a smidgen more. This disc slides right over these pins, really nice, like that. Now what I'll do is get that off. I'm going to put these into the back of these wheels. And they snap right in there nice. Now what I'll do is when I fit this up, I just got to decide how much of these pins to cut back, because I'm not worried about this rolling, so I'm just going to glue them on. So I'm going to cut these pins down to what they need to be to get these wheels to set where I want on the axles and look nice in the fender. So that's what I'm doing for the front. And then of course I'll paint these discs, because as you can see right, these are open. Oh, where are me? There I am. These wheels are cast open, but this car would probably have brake drums on it, so I'm going to paint these discs so it looks like there's brake drums behind these wheels, and that'll be what holds them onto these pins on the axles once I cut them down where they need to be, and they'll just bottom out up against the wheel. So that's going to be for the front. For the rear, there's a little bit more. So I made the center hole so it goes over that. Alright, so it'll look like there's a brake drum back there, and I'll just paint those because those are cast open also. And so that's really just a filler. Now what I'm going to do is, I've got this brass rod. This is going to be my axle pins. Again, I'm not worried about this rolling, so I just need to get this in there, and I'll probably just glue it in there. That is just a little bit bigger than that hole, so I'm going to have to drill those out just a smidgen for this rod to go in. But the rod is going to go through here. But that's really sloppy. There's a huge hole in this axle, or in this assembly. So what I did, I didn't have any round tubing that was right for this, so I took some angle. Get this here. This is 80 thousandths or 2mm styrene angle, and what I did is I glued it together like that and made a box. You can see that. That's what this is. It's a big long box tube, and this will slide in here. Now it's got a little bit of slack in it. It wants to wobble a little. What I'm going to do, once that's in there, I'll glue it in there, is I'm going to take some short pieces of this, of the same angle, and what I'm going to do is wedge it. I'm going to set this up. So this will be the top, the axle. I'm going to set that so it's like a diamond in there. And I'm going to wedge a little piece of that. You see that right in the top. And that will wedge it in there nice and solid. And it ain't going anywhere. And that way it'll also push it to the bottom of the axle tube, which will give me just a skosh more lift on the body to make sure that these will definitely clear my rear fenders, because they're going to be really close. That's what I'm doing there, and you can see this square tubing, this brass rod slides in there real nice. It's got a nice fairly snug fit. So that's what I'm doing to make my pins. Then they'll stick out whatever they have to there. Once that's drilled out, that'll go on that. And I'll just paint all this. Probably paint that nub there to match the rear end. It'll look like the axle tube extended. And this will look like the back of the brake backing plate. And that's it. That's what I'm doing to make these wheels work with the Lindberg axles. So, alright, I'm going to get back to doing some more building. I'm doing a little bit of slideshow stuff on this build. So, maybe when I come back, we'll have a little more done. Alright, I'm not going to show every little thing I did putting this together, but I wanted to share a couple of modifications I did make. On the pickup bed, the gas tank is supposed to sit right in the middle of the bed, and I didn't like it there. I wanted to move it forward up to the very front of the bed, and there are some locating tabs that I decided I wanted to remove, and there's also some holes. You'll see like 3 or 4 holes in the bottom of the bed. I think that's for another version of this kit that has a regular cab on it, and it has a tow truck option. I think that's what all those extra slots are for, because it looks like it's the exact. I have a copy of that kit, and it looks like it's the same bed. And so what I did is I took my big chisel blade and scraped those 4 tabs off that are locator tabs or ridges for the gas tank. And then I took some cardstock, made a template to fit in there, and I'm going to put a floor in it. So then after I made the cardstock template, then I used that as my pattern to cut some 20,000 styrene sheet. And because of the template, it fit right in there real nice. And I just ended up gluing that into the bottom of the bed to make the bed all solid with no holes or ridges, and then painted it like a low gloss black. And then the other issue was when you put the cab on and you look up underneath, the seat that's molded into the cab, there's no floor to cover it, and when you turn it upside down you can see the bottom side of the molded in seat. And I originally just painted it all black and thought that might be good, but after I looked at it I didn't really care for it. So I did the same thing again. I took some cardstock and made a template for it. And what I did is I mounted the bed and I glued the front floor in it, and then I made a template to fill it in between, and then use that to cut out a nice piece of styrene, same thing, 20,000 sheet styrene, and made a filler panel to go in for a false floor. And there it is, all in the all fit in, and that got painted low gloss black also and glued down, so that when you flip it upside down you won't see that molded in seat anymore. So that's the 2 major modifications or changes I did with the kit. Other than that, it's all built pretty much what it would have been out of the box. It's definitely the notorious older Lindberg kit. You can't put a fan on the engine, even with the version that they have you make for this. I added the supercharger. That was an option for the engine if you built the little Roadster drag car with a shorter chassis. But either way, the fan's not going to fit because there's a cross member in the frame that's right where the fan has to be. So even though the instructions show you putting a fan in there, there's no way it's going to go in there. So I just left the fan off and used the supercharger. So we're going to show you here what it all turned out to be. And voila! There it is, all together. Like I said, I was going to use the paint that was on it. I just used some low gloss black for the bed floor and the runners on the running boards. The headlights, I would have liked them been painted the body color, but when whoever painted this kit didn't paint those, and I can't match the paint, so I painted those gloss black. And that's pretty much all of it. The interior, I did the roof, which I probably won't have on it very often. This is just like a craft paint that was painted with this folk art. It's French vanilla, and I painted the seat the same color, and then the door panels and the floor in the cab I painted with Americana cranberry wine. So that's the craft paints I used for the interior, because they come out flat and it just looks like fabric or carpet. The dashboard, it's just the regular dashboard, but I did add some decals. Got some gopher gauge decals and put those in there rather than trying to do them with a marker or something. Those turned out pretty decent. Painted the steering wheel just a gloss brown, like a wood color brown. And I think that's pretty much it. The wheels and tires are from the AMT Munsters coach. And what else did I do? That's basically it. And I already showed you what I did on the axles. I went through some of my decals and found a tag. It's a Florida tag, one of the manatee tags. And since I'm in Florida, I use the Florida tag. That's pretty much it. It's just what it was in the box. You can see here where I put the fuel tank up against the front wall of the bed. That front wall should have been painted the cab color or the body color, but again, whoever painted it forgot to paint that. So I just painted that the low gloss black to match the floor, and it blends in pretty good. Helps keep the tank from jumping out too much, but being the tank is gloss black, it still contrasts a little. And then I'll show you underneath what I did. And here's the underside. Really didn't change anything. Just painted the exhaust like a darker gray metallic and chrome silver for the mufflers. And some dirt stuff, hair or something, dusty busty. Engine I just painted Chrysler red. That's it. It's all just low gloss and gloss black on the frame and the drive shaft tunnel or drive shaft tube, and axles and rear. The springs are low gloss black. Just pretty basic. There's my backing plates that I made. Just built as a Lindberg kit. So I'm pretty happy with it. It turned out about as I had expected. It'd been nice if it had been, some of those other parts have been painted, been a little closer to what I wanted. The windshield doesn't really want to fit right. You really got to play with that. The one parts that were missing were these cowl lights, and since it was already painted, I wasn't going to try and fill those holes, so I had to steal those out of my other kit that I had, and then I just painted the lenses the clear yellow, amber yellow, and they can either be turn signals or fog lamps, whatever. Tail lights I just used clear red, turn signal, stoplight red, and I painted the carburetors a dark metallic color. And I did wire the engine. I don't know why, you can't really tell. Let me show you here. If you can see the wires that I did. I tried to wire them in so that the top of the distributor, but the plastic is old and brittle, and I just started busting the distributor out. So I kind of compromised on that, but you can't really see the wires anyway, being it's an early Hemi with the little covers for the spark plugs. They just go into the back in a channel anyhow. So yeah, it's just a little detail that somebody might notice. And that's it. 34 Ford Roadster Pickup. I like it. You can go up there with my other hot rod, my Chop T, and I like it. I like Roadster pickups. I like that. I think it turned out pretty decent. Chrome's all bad on it. Every time you touch any chrome on it, it wants to start coming off and turns black. It's an old kit. It's from 1986 or something. It's 30 something years old, 35 years old probably. But there it is. And another one to go up on the shelf. Hope y'all like this build. Plan on doing some more of these. Maybe not Lindbergs, but definitely some more hot rods. Anyway, thanks for watching, and you know, as always, whatever, subscribe if you haven't, like if you like it, leave comments. I like the comments, and thanks again for stopping by, and until the next one, catch you later.